Welcome back to Blam Blam Truckers. Today it's just me, it's Bees. Hi, how you doing? I might be doing a little Transformer explanations here with the Blockies Transformers. Highly recommended. They're dirt cheap compared to regular Transformers. A Transformer this big at Walmart will run you $27 right now at my local Walmart. I checked the other day. A Blockies model like this that you put together yourself with your sprues and whatnot. So this one is Blockbusters, or Bone Crushers, I mean. One of these will cost you $5. So I'm cheap. Let it be known. Today we're talking about Shadow Knights. This is going to be a long one. I don't want it to be a long one, but it will be. Shadow Knights are awesome. Everybody agrees, except for me, that they are the best group tank. I think the best group tank is the one that holds the aggro, no matter what class it is, even if it's a ranger, and mitigates the damage, which is why rangers kind of start falling off at the end game. But to be perfectly honest, Shadow Knights are probably the best all-around tank. They do not get root, not even at all. Not even a little, not even at all. And a lot of their spells that they get really help them solo more than they help them in the group. Having said that, out of the 6 rolls, besides the Thunder Roll and the Cinnamon Roll and the Buttered Roll, hot buttered rolls, they can handle tanking, a little bit of damage. They're really not they're fine. If you put them in a group as a damage roll, just like Paladins, they're fine. They're not made for damage, but they're better at it than Paladins. They're better at it than Warriors. And when we go through the spell list, you'll see why I'm not like, yeah, Shadow Knights, they do tons of damage, they're a damage roll, yay! They're not. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with using them that way, but they were built to tank. They were built to solo. They have a certain amount of crowd control, but not really for groups. They're better for soloing. And they can pull quite well with their Feigned Death, but it's not Monk Feigned Death. They're not great pullers like Paladins are with the whole lull line, lull and pacify. They don't have that. They don't have root to help them pull. Paladins are better pullers. Shadow Knights, on the other hand, hold aggro like crazy from like level 9 on. We'll go over that when we get to it. They're really good. They can mitigate the damage. They can take the hit. They can really get the mob mad. They can add extra damage. They have a pet that adds damage. Doesn't add a lot of damage, but it's every little bit counts. Is it worth keeping your pet up all the time as a Shadow Knight? No, it's not. If it keeps dying because you're fighting something that does a little bit of AoE damage, leave the pet down. It's not that big of a deal. You're not there to do damage in a group. You're there to tank. What are your roles in? So we'll go through all 6. Tanking. Yes, please. Shadow Knight tanks are awesome. Damage. It's okay. It's better than Paladins. It's better than Warriors. I don't know it's better than Warriors with their crits. It's up there, though. It's decent. It's very, very decent. Healing. They can heal themselves. They can heal themselves very well. They'll be doing that in the group. If you have a if you have a Shadow Knight, they will be life tapping as they go. Eventually they get procs that life tap with their weapons. They're a great tanking class. They add damage, they keep aggro, and they can heal themselves as they go while they're doing that. Yeah, let's continue on. Pulling, they're fine at it. They're not great. People are like, Shadow Knights are great pullers because they can feign death. Their feign death has just like Necromancers when we covered that. It takes 1.5 seconds to cast, and it takes 15 seconds to, and it has a 15-second cooldown. This is not monks. Let's get out our famous monk here, Sunstreaker. Hi, I'm the famous monk Sunstreaker. I'm actually more of a warrior class inside of the Transformers lore, but for now, I'm the famous monk Sunstreaker. As a monk, he's floppity, 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 flopping up, flop, flip, flop, a flippy to the flippy to the flip, flip, flop. we want to go with a Shadow Knight over here, like Bone Crusher, he stops. He's getting chased by Optimus. Ah, I'm chasing you. Bone Crusher stops. 1.5 second later flops. And if it works, Optimus walks away. If it doesn't, Optimus starts kicking him in the head. He has to wait 15 seconds before he can flop again. That is not fair. Actually, it is fair. Shadow Knight flop is... They're only one of 3 classes that get the flop. It's better than everyone else except for monks and necros, who it's equal to. FD is nice. Let's talk about what race you want to be. Ogres! If you're a melee class, any melee class, and you can be an ogre, you should be an ogre. Why? Because you can't be stunned by physical hits from the front. And that has a lot of caveats to it. You can't be stunned by hits, so you can still be stunned by spells, from the front. You can still be stunned from behind. But as a tank, or any other melee, the mob is always in front of you. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. You will not be slowed down by bashes or kicks or anything else. As an ogre, that's huge. Stat-wise, look at the stats. I should be pointing over there. Stat-wise, look at the stats. Ogres are the best. By far. It's not even close. Strength is your determining stat for damage. Ogres, base stat, 140. Trolls, the next highest, base stat, 118. Trolls are nice. Ogres, base stamina, 127. Trolls, base stamina, 114. Ogres are the obvious choice. Having said that, if you don't want to play an ogre for a number of reasons, including the fact that, they are butt ugly, and so are trolls. And I say that as one who plays ogres and trolls happily. Troll Shaman is the best shaman, by far, throughout the entire game. Only one that gets a snare. Having said that, Buse will not play ugly races. Not calling you out here, buddy. I'm just letting people know it's a real thing. If you don't want to play the tune because it doesn't appeal to you, you can't picture. This character is embodying you in the game world. A lot of people want it to look good, not necessarily like you, just something that when they look at, they can be proud of. And ogres and trolls are butt ugly. You may like that. I think it's great. But you may not like that. A lot of people won't play ogres and trolls because they're so ugly. Some of them won't even play Ixar because they don't like looking like a lizard. Well, those are your top 3 stat-wise choices because of the racial abilities and because of the stats. Not so much the Ixar, but the Ixar racial abilities, especially after Kunark, are really great. So let's talk about them. Ogres can't be stunned from the front. That's it. You're thinking, this doesn't seem like such a big thing. Play one. Just play one. It's a world of difference. If I could be an ogre paladin, I would. Trolls. Trolls get regen. Regen is great. We have a chart here. Oh. Hold on. There's the nice in the middle there for you so you can look at the stats. Here is the regen chart. This one. Where is it? This one. Regen chart. Now, at level 60, Ixar and Troll regen, while sitting, is 18. Everyone else is 7. While Feigned Death is 14. Everyone else is 5. While standing is 12. Everyone else is 4. You want to... This is nice. Having that regen, eventually, down the line, end game, it's very nice. Ixar also get an AC bonus, which also means they can't wear, in Classic and Kunark, and only in Classic and Kunark, they can't wear plate because of their scales, which is a pretty big negative until you get to Velius, where apparently the devs completely forgot about it, and now everybody wears the same armor, even Ixar. Either the lore matters or it doesn't matter. And in EverQuest, it only matters for the expansion. That's just the way it is. Kind of like Transformers. The lore only matters for that generation of Transformers. And the lore in Transformers 1 is different than the lore in G1, and that's fine. EverQuest, however, is one game. You would think there would be a bit more continuity. There isn't. That's a lore thing, not a gameplay thing. Sorry, guys. I'm not a big EverQuest lore person. But I have watched a lot of the videos, and some of it is really cool and then completely ignored by the next expansion. Like the lore behind the House of Unrest, the Estate of Unrest, which is brought back in EverQuest 2 and really developed more in EverQuest 2, which, ironically, EverQuest 2 is better with lore than EverQuest 1 is. So anyway, pick your race. I highly recommend Ogres. All of them are viable. All of them do great. By Velius, if you get all the endgame armor in Velius, your stats will be maxed out. The stat you care about most is probably stamina, honestly. Make sure you get your, if you're an erudite or an ogre, make sure you get your agility to 75 with your starting points. And then if you're an ogre, throw all the rest of your points into int, same with a troll. If you are not an ogre and your int is well over 80, you probably want to throw it all into stamina or strength. You are more of a melee than you are a caster, but it's nice to have a big mana pool and you don't get a lot of int gear until end game. And ogres already have the stats. Even if you put all your stats for any other class into stamina and strength, you will not catch up to an ogre. Ogres are broken. Play the broken. Anyway, broken in a good way. Combat skills. Let's hit that real quick. So these are the old skill levels back in the day. Ooh, the pet guide. This is fun. These are the pets you get and the levels you get them at and what they do. So your level 9 pet is like the level 1 or level 3 necro pet, whatever it is, 1 or 4. No real bonuses, but at 15, they gain bash and kick. No changes. Restless Bones at 30 gains innate magic attacks, which doesn't matter anymore in the game. That got changed. Oh, wow. I think when Mischief came out, was it Mischief? I don't know. No, it wasn't Mischief. It doesn't matter. Animate Dead gains dual wield. So at 39, your pet finally gets their dual wield. As a necro, you get it a lot quicker. You do need to equip it with weapons for it to use dual wield. No changes for Summon Dead. Malignant Dead gains innate dual wield and fast regen. And Cackling Bones at 58 gets a life tap proc. That's awesome. Skills. Combat skills. One hand blunt, one hand slashing, two hand blunt, two hand slashing, archery, defense, hand to hand, harm touch. This is awesome. I forgot about this. I don't when I'm playing, but Paladins get lay on hands, which can heal anyone. It's basically a complete heal from level 1 on. It's not, and people will be like, well, it's not really a complete heal. It actually only does this much healing based on your level. And it can actually do more than complete heal later on. That's great. It's basically a complete heal from level 1 on. You can use it like once an hour, once every 30 minutes, 90 minutes, whatever it is. Same with Harm Touch. Harm Touch is a one-hit kill for, or a huge amount of damage for even level mobs. It is a great ability. It's in, you hit V and you go to your AAs, you get it from level 1. And it's just a nice damage, a magic damage. Boom, you touch them, and they're not quite dead. It's not death touch, it's just harm touch. But you do them a world of hurt. And I think it's resisted at magic resist, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It matters when you're doing your build and paying attention to things down the road. But leveling up to 50, 60, when it's up, kill something with it. When you're in raiding, save it for the mob boss, for the big boss. Or the mini boss. It resets every hour or so, whatever that is, whatever the delay is. You will figure it out quick. I could bring up the game and make an SK and look it up, but put it on your skill bar, put it to like 4 or 5, and whenever it's up, use it. Offense. Again, that's how fast you learn. Offensive attacks. Defense is how quickly you learn defensive attacks. It's nice. Piercing, that's knives. You get 2-hand piercing too. That's not on this list because it's P99. Taunt. You're one of 4 classes to get taunt. I'm going to give my standard taunt lecture. We did this with the Pally. We did this with the Ranger. Okay, taunt is snap aggro. It is not cumulative aggro. It will put you at the top of the hate list. It is your job to stay there. And we will talk about that when we do spells in a minute. How SKs stay at the top of the hate list. The only other taunt melee, the only other melee with taunt that can pull off an SK is a Ranger. Paladins can't pull off you, not for long. And warriors definitely can't pull off you. But if you want the aggro, you can have it. Those Pally stuns, once you get all 5 of them, could probably do it one after another. Anyway, hand-to-hand, harm touch, offense, piercing, taunt. All it does is it puts you at the top of the hate list. It is your job to stay there. So the mob will snap. We call it snap aggro. The mob will snap its attention to you. It is your job to stay at the top of that list. So when the rogue hasn't been using evade and pulls off you, hit taunt, they'll turn around and you bash them more, or you harm touch them, or most likely you hit them with clinging darkness again and again and again. At 10, you get dodge. Good, your defensive skills are coming in. 17, parry. Good, your defensive skills are coming in. These are going to max themselves out, by the way. They're your avoidance, not your mitigation AC. And you're going to take a lot of hits. You will up these skills. You will. Double attack at 20. Good, you do more damage. Riposte. Good, you dodge and do damage. Again, that will level itself up. Disarm should be on your list like every other melee, especially at endgame when you're fighting mobs with magic weapons. I talked about this with the rogue. Rogues should always have I think rogues should have disarm in their evade macro, but that's a whole other thing. Disarm is nice. As long as it's a magical weapon, disarm puts it into the mob's inventory so everybody can roll on it through the advanced loot system. If it's a non-magical weapon, it drops it to the ground. Anybody can pick it up at that point. So it's not fair in the loot cycle to the rest of your group, but you also want it maxed, and your max disarm is not nearly as high as the rogue's. 70? What did the rogue do? Doobie-doo. Skills. Combat skills. Disarm. 200. Yeah. Let's go back to the SK, see if there's anything else there. Disarm. That's the rogue. Back to here. Back to here. Back to SK. Back to combat skills. You like the scrolling, do you? Alright. Combat skills. We talked about all that. Casting skills. You do not get specialize. I talked about this with the Ranger. As a true hybrid, you do not get specialize. Your spells will never... What Specialize does for pure casters it reduces the mana cost. It ups your mana efficiency, which is wonderful. So now what used to cost 2 mana now costs 1 when you get your Specialize up high enough. You will never have that. You just won't. You get to dip from both pools. You don't get to go all the way deep into both pools. Warriors will always have higher caps for their defensive and offensive skills. And pure casters will always be able to specialize, and you won't. You do get channeling. Channeling is awesome. Excuse me a second. Channeling reduces your fizzle rate for your spells, and it increases your spell time. You get meditate. Meditate is also awesome. It speeds up your mana regen. So yeah, not much more to say here that hasn't been said before. Miscellaneous skills. Yeah, I know, it's miscellaneous. Alcohol tolerance, beg, bind, wound, fishing, sense heading, swimming, and hide. Hide? Learn something new every day. You don't get it till 35 according to this. It might actually be different. P99 doesn't keep up with live. Swimming, you're going to want to max out, but you'll max that out through use. Bind Wound, you will probably not use after about level 10 or so. You'll see. Fishing is a trade skill. If you like it, use it. If you don't, don't. Begging. I don't know anybody who masters beg anymore. Yeah, I just don't. It's nice, but nobody bothers spending the time on it because it's not that nice. Beg lets you go up to an NPC and ask them for money. And sometimes they give it to you, and sometimes they get pissed and hit and kill you. So yeah, there's issues there. We will cover these when we cover... You don't get as many disciplines as a pure melee. Yeah, we'll cover these in spells. So, spells. This is going to be fun, guys. Shadow Knights are a blast. They're both fun to play, they're fun to group with. This is Planes of Power. Don't worry about it. Sense the Dead. The only thing this is good for is leveling your divination, which you're going to want to do before you get Gather Shadows later on. Gather Shadows is your self-invis. It's a divination spell. You have a few other divination spells you use, like Invisibility versus Undead. You might use that, but there's two of them here, two div spells that you can use to, especially Sense the Dead, that you can use to raise your divination for 5 mana a pop. As you can see here, as I scroll up so you can actually see it, Invis versus Undead costs 40 mana. These cost 5. Invis versus Undead is useful. You'll use it all the time. Sense the Dead and Locate Corpse, you can skip. They're only good for leveling divination. If you have the money, pick one up, level it up. Excuse me. Level 5, you finally come into your own. Not really. You're just getting started. Disease Cloud. You will use this until you get Clinging Darkness to hold aggro. You cast it on the mob over and over and over again in the hopes of pissing it off more than somebody doing regular damage to it. It costs 10 mana. It is very obnoxious. You can also use Siphon Strength to the same effect. So let's open these both up and compare them side by side. Disease Cloud. Recast time, 6. Casting time, 1.5. Siphon Strength. Costs 5 mana, which is nice. Casting time, 1.5. Recast time, 6. You're doing whatever you can to get that mob mad at you when you're tanking before you get Clinging Darkness. You are. Both of these can help quite a bit. Get them both. Use them both. Love them both. Leering Corpse. 40 mana. Summons your first pet. It is a Necromancer level 4 pet. 7 for you. This is the closest you'll ever be in level to a Necromancer pet. It's nice. It is nothing. It's like an extra dot. That's all it really acts as. Okay. It's nice. Use it. It costs bone chips to cast. Bone chips are pretty easy to come across. Level 8, Life Tap. This you're going to be using a lot. It costs 8 mana. That is less than Disease Cloud. Life Tap the hell out of these things. Let's take a closer look. Recast time, 1.5 seconds. You can cast this thing over and over again until you're out of mana. Does it do as much aggro as Clinging Darkness? No, Clinging Darkness is a snare effect that will really piss them off. But use it. It's useful. It heals you. It hurts them and heals you. What more can you ask for? Level 9. That's a Luckland spell. Numb the Dead. This is... We've talked about this. He's got an aggro radius. This is him. Everything he can see, you hit this undead guy with Numb the Dead, and suddenly he can't see anything. Very useful for pulling, but only against undead. Because if you got two guys standing there... Where is Megatron? Megatron, where are you? You got your two Decepticons here, Megatron and Bone Crusher. And Megatron, you lower his aggro radius, you hit him with an arrow, and you pull him. Oh, I didn't cover arrows. Oh, use your bow and arrow. You don't have a lot of mana. Use your bow and arrow to pull. Okay, we'll get into that. Level 10, Endure Cold. Get this spell. Use this spell to raise your abjuration. You need an undead to cast Numb the Dead, which is your other abjuration spell. You need an undead to cast Numb the Undead on. You do not need anyone but yourself to cast Endure Cold. Whenever you're logging out for the day, you've done all your banking stuff and your vendoring stuff and you're done, and you have a full mana bar. Use that whole mana bar on yourself casting Endure Cold over and over and over until your abjuration is maxed for your level. Do this every level. Why? Because the flip flop, the flippy to the flippy to the flip flip flop is based on abjuration. This is the best spell to use, Endure Cold, to raise your abjuration before you get Feigned Death. Moving on. Clinging Darkness. This is the spell. You're going to load it into your into your spell bar, and you're never going to take it out. But we get better Clinging Darknesses, better spells of it down the line. I don't care. The snare on this is a huge aggro, so it's a dot. It does a little bit of damage. Mostly, though, it decreases movement. You use it as a snare, slows down the mob. That annoys the mob. It keeps you high on the aggro list. It costs 20 mana to cast. Right now, that's a lot at level 11. By level 50, you won't even see your bar move when you cast this. Save your mana for other things. Use this to hold aggro. Cast it on the mob 2 or 3 times, and you should be able to hold aggro through. If everybody else is doing their job properly, and rogues are using evade, and rangers are using jolt, and wizards are using concussion, and the monk is doing the flip-flop to drop aggro, you will be able to hold aggro with 2 or 3 level 11 dots on this thing. Okay? That's it. That's how you hold aggro. That's why you are better than everyone else but rangers at holding attention. And rangers use Flame Lick for the same effect. Flame Lick adds more hate. And boy, their direct damages, rangers just do more damage than you do. But they have Jolt to lower the amount of damage they do. I think they get it at 50. All right, moving on. Lesser Summon Corpse. You are one of 2 classes in the game that can summon corpses. Necros are the other. If someone dies in a weird place in the zone and we can't get to it, you can go buy a coffin and summon their corpse for them. Then they can res it. Yay! Very useful when you're doing end level stuff and you lose a level because this is used mostly in raids. Once in a while it's needed outside of a raid, but mostly it's in raids. People sacrifice themselves for the guild, for the raid, and they need their corpse summoned because they died in a weird place. You can step up and do it. Necros can step up and do it. Fear. Fear is awesome. This only works up to level 52. That's fine. I hate level caps on spells. I've ranted about this before. Between Clinging Darkness and Fear, you can Fear Kite. So you snare them, and then you fear them. You slow down their movement speed, and then you make them run away. And then you get behind them, and you take a two-handed weapon, and you smashy, smashy, smashy. That's the game. We're fighting bad guys, okay? We're good guys, and you're the bad guy, however you want to play it. Whatever gets you through the night, you know? Excuse me. Fear up to level 52. Congratulations, you are now a solo class. Get your pet on it, too. Throw a few dots. You're soloing. Dots are useful when you're soloing. Not so useful when you're in a group, but that's a whole nother thing. Shadow Step, level 13. You will never use this spell. It randomly teleports you a short distance. There's a whole line here. Incredibly useful in D&D, worthless in EverQuest. 14, next pet. Use it, love it, need it. Get it, use it, love it. That's what my expression is. Get it, use it, love it. Scream of Hate is Lucklin. Life Spike. It is your next life tap. It costs 13 mana. You will be spamming the snot out of this. Get it, use it, love it. Is it, particularly mana efficient? Yeah, because it does double what it says. Because it does 7 damage to them and it does 7 healing to you. Get it, use it, love it. Life tap lets you go longer than any other tank except for paladins. You can take a hit, you can heal yourself. It's very easy, it's fun to do. Get it, use it, love it. Grim Aura increases your attack. Wow, you do more damage now. Oh no, why would you want to do more damage? This is technically a Necromancer spell that you get, but it's really a Shadow Knight spell that Necromancers get. You just do more damage. It's wonderful. Deadeye. See Invis and Infravision. If you happen to be an erudite or a human who hasn't turned up your gain in options yet, this might be useful. For everyone else, it's just a see invis, which is nice. Another divination spell. 18, Ward Undead. You can do some damage to undead. Not as good as a paladin. You come out at it a couple levels later. You get it at 18, they get it at 14. Having said that, still does damage. If you're fighting undead, get it, use it, love it. 19, Cure Disease. Yay. Get it, use it, love it. It cures disease. It does what it says. It does what it says on the tin. It's useful. It's nice. Use it. Spook the Dead. Now you can fear the dead. It costs less than fear itself, I think. Fear is 40. Spook the Dead is 10 mana. Yeah, if you're fighting undead, if you're off soloing undead, get it, use it, love it. If you're soloing, you might want to upgrade your Clinging Darkness line to Engulfing Darkness because it does more damage for you. If you're not soloing, go with the cheap one. Look, this is 60. Engulfing Darkness is 60. Clinging Darkness is 20 mana. This is not hard. There's a reason why Rangers use Flame Lick for their entire career till it can't land anymore if there's a level cap to it. And you want to stick with Clinging Darkness. If you're soloing, that's a different story. You're not worried about doing damage with your dots. You're worried about holding aggro in a group. 21, Dark Empathy. Increase hit points by 30. What? Oh, wait, you can share? What is this? Doobie? Is this what I think it is? Yeah. You can share your health to other people, like Necros can. That's cool. I don't know if you'll ever use this, but it's a tiny heal. Yay. 22, Vampiric Embrace. Get it, use it, love it. This is the... I was talking to you about this. This is awesome. Shadow Knights get it. I tried using it as a... I'm sorry, Necros get it. I tried using it as a Necro. It was not great. With Shadow Knights, however, it's awesome. Necros don't do a lot of melee, nor should they. You can. There's ways to do it, especially when you're tanking, but this is a Shadow Knight spell. Gives your attacks a chance. Gives your attacks a vampiric property for 1.7 minutes at 7 to 7.5 minutes at 65, allowing a chance to steal life from your target. So when you're hitting, you have a chance to proc and steal life from your target. Man, Shadow Knights are awesome. So not only are you life tapping them, you're vampiric embracing them. You're mean. Don't you like being mean? You get another pet spell. Upgrade. Use the upgrade. It's nice. It's good for you. 23. Luckland spell. Ignore it. Feign Death at 24. Have you been casting Endure Cold on yourself? I hope you have, because this will not go off if you have not raised your Abjuration skill. So go get Endure Cold and raise your Abjuration skill. Just for a second. It's so cold. So cold. It was 90 degrees last week. Now it's a little over 60. Endure Cold. We're up more. Let's see where this is sold. Because it's sold everywhere, but it's not usually sold in Shadow Knight guilds. So, sold by 49. Is it sold in Grob? It is sold in Grob. Is it sold in Agak? It is sold in Agak. Let's see who sells it for the ogres. Shadow Knight spells. It is sold in Shadow Knight Guild. Good. Beautiful. Go buy Endure Cold. It's wonderful. You're going to love it. 20... Where are we at? Feign Death, 24. Again, you're not an instant flop. You have a 15-second cooldown. You have a 1.5 cast time. That being said, it's a great spell. Has an 87% chance of success. Monks can get up to like 99% or not with AAs and all that. Endure Disease, another Abjuration spell. Does what it says on the tin. Raises your magic resist against disease or your disease resist. Wave of Enfeeblement. This is a PB AoE. Doesn't do any damage, but it decreases strength by 5 to 20. Put this on your list of spells. You will use this to grab aggro off of mobs that are mesmerized. It will, if they're nearby you and they're mesmerized, casting Wave of Enfeeblement it increases your hate level without breaking mez. Let me say that again. It increases your aggro, your hate level, without breaking mez. is an amazing spell. Get it, use it, love it. It's one more way to get your hate level up. And again, without breaking Mez, that's awesome. That's something Rangers can't do. Heat Blood. This is a dot. You will not be using these much in groups. They're not mana efficient. They don't go the whole length of the dot. This is for soloing. It's nice. You can put it on there, but it's 88 mana. That's a lot of mana. You're going to use it for soloing more than grouping. Generally, you have life taps. You have Wave of Enfeeblement. You have, most importantly, Clinging Embrace, Clinging Darkness. You have Empiric Embrace. You're doing damage. You really don't need to use your dots in groups, and they're not efficient, because the reason why dots are more efficient than direct damage is because they last over time. If you shorten that time for the length of the life of the mob, they stop being mana efficient. There's better ways to spend your mana, is what I'm trying to say. Strengthen Death at 29. This is a pet buff. Get it, use it, love it. Life Draw, it's your next life tap. Get it, use it, love it. Restless Bones, next pet. Gather Shadows, Invisibility. Have you been working on your divination? Remember I told you to work on your divination? Here's why. At 30, you can finally invis yourself. Takes forever to get there, but boy, is it worth it. Paladins can't do that. Clerics can't do that. Monks can't do that. Warriors can't do that. Everybody else can, though. Shield Skin increases. It's an absorb. You can cast it on yourself. You can cast it on yourself. I think it has a component when used, and I think it's pretty cheap. Cat's Eye Agate, yeah. Not an expensive gem by the time you're getting it. At 31, just go buy a stack. Throw it up before big boss fights or higher level mobs. Use it when you're soloing, use it when you're grouping. Throw on Shield Skin before you pull a red for the group. And as he comes in and gets his butt kicked, that's damage the cleric doesn't have to heal. That's damage you don't have to worry about mitigating. It's absorbed off. Recast time of 1.5, 3.5 casting time. You can cast during battle. I prefer not to if I was playing the Shadow Knight. That's Eldon. That's Lucklin. Spear of Disease. That is Planes of Power. So from Shield Skin at 31, you don't get another spell in Classic until 35. That's a long wait, but meh. You get 3 at 35. Well, yeah, 3 at 35. Shroud of Hate. You can decrease the enemy's attack, which will piss them off. It costs 60 mana. I don't know if it's worth using, except against bigger bosses and whatnot, because in a group you're killing them so fast, but it won't break Mez, and it will piss them off. Summon Corpse, you want to upgrade the spell line. It upgrades the max level. This is the last one you need. You get it at 35. You don't need to summon anything over level 60, because unless you stay after July, in which case get the next one, but this one will do it. Go buy the appropriate coffin. Resist Cold, get it, use it, love it, blah, blah, blah. Heart Flutter. This one is a dot you might want to consider using for the same reason Necros do. Heart Flutter has a debuff component to it. Decrease AC by 9, decrease strength by 20, so they're easier to hit, and they do less damage when they hit you. And it also has a dot. You're not casting this for the dot, it's 41 mana. You are casting this for the debuff. Cancel Magic. You may or may not ever use this depending on your playstyle. As a tank, this is not high up on your list of concerns, but as the mobs come in that have buffs on them, you want to get rid of their hit point buffs, you want to get rid of their haste, and you want to get rid of their sow. Your Clinging Darkness will get rid of their sow. You can't have a haste and a speed enhancer you can't have a snare and a speed enhancement like sow at the same time. So you're not worried about sow. Not as a Shadow Knight, not as a Ranger either, because your snare will take that out. You still want to get rid of haste, and you want to get rid of any hit point buffs they have. For 30 mana, you can take away, say, 200, 300 hit points at end game. That's a 10-to-1 ratio. Cancel Magic is a wonderful spell line. Enchanters are the masters of it, and enchanters should be using it all the time. But everybody else who gets it, and as you can see here, there's a list, should be considering keeping it on their spell bar. You probably least of all. If you're tanking, you've got other things to do. You just don't have the time for it. I've said that for a number of classes like bards and whatnot. So there you go. Scream of Death adds a proc, which is nice, but that's not till Lucklin. Shadow Vortex decreases their AC and pisses them off pretty good. Makes them easier to hit. Get it, use it, love it, as you see fit. If you're if you're in a group and you're plowing through mobs so fast that you only have time to get off a couple of spells, make it Clinging Darkness. Keep that aggro. Use Wave of Enfeeblement. Keep that aggro. You're more worried about aggro than damage. Your job as a tank is not to do damage. It's nice. You should be doing damage, but you are not there to be damage. You are there to tank. You hold the aggro. You do whatever it takes to hold that aggro, and you mitigate that damage, which your armor is going to do for you, and the buffs that are on you are going to do for you. You position mobs. That's part of tanking. You get... Anyway, that's advanced stuff. Like, you want... If the pets are all coming from one side, you should be on the other side. Rogues need to be behind, but mobs can't dodge from behind. So they can't block from behind. They can't riposte from behind. So get all the pets behind the mob when you're tanking. It's not that hard. Circle around the mob and bash him in the head. Sorry. Animate Dead, it's another pet spell. 39 is voice of... That's Lucklin. Which increases your aggro multiplier. That's a great little spell. You don't really need it, but it's a great little spell. Expulse Undead. Decrease hit points by 86. It's a direct damage. If you're fighting undead, you want this out. Use it. Put it on your spell bar. Shadow Sight. Ultravision and See Invis. This is an advancement to the other sight spell you had. It's nice, but it's just See Invis. You can, by all means, put it up if you want to. Or raise your gain and not worry about Invis while you're tanking, because generally you don't have to. That is a walking around the zone sort of thing. It's nice. It's a utility spell. If you want it, use it, by all means. But you're not going to be using it in group much. Yakisha, Lucklin, you don't get another spell from Shadow Sight until 43. So you go from 40 to 43. This is your next fear. It lasts longer. Since you're not using fear in group, because you don't want them running, this is for soloing. If you find you need a longer fear, upgrade. If you don't. Dooming Darkness. This is a spell most people will upgrade to, because the movement decrease is significantly better than Clinging Darkness. Tough toodles. I don't care. I don't. I'm not putting snare on them to keep them here. I'm putting snare on them to piss them off. My level 20 will piss them... My level 9 or whatever it is, spell up there, 11. Clinging Darkness will piss them off for less mana. I'm going to keep using Clinging Darkness. Please, Druids and Rangers, and Wizards, do not overwrite my Clinging Darkness. I'm using it for aggro. Alright, moving on. 45. Word of Spirit. Decreases, so it's a PB AoE direct damage spell. This is nice. This is very nice. Why don't Paladins get this? If you don't have a, what do you call it? A crowd control in the group, a Mezzer, particularly a Bard or an Enchanter or a Necro, you want to piss everything off and keep it on you until somebody starts root rotting them. If you've got somebody that are root CCing them. If you've got somebody root CCing them, you don't worry about it. But you want everything mad at you, this is what you use. Decrease hit points by 39. Max of 104. Everything around you takes damage, but it's situational. Usually you're going to have a Mezzer. If somebody's root rotting, then get this off and go back to single target stuff. Breath of the Dead, I think, has it a component. And we can get rid of Shield Skin. We're not looking at that anymore. Breath of the Dead. Fish Scales. So you can breathe underwater. You can only cast it on yourself. You need to go buy a stack of Fish Scales. Not a big deal. Lucklin. Summon Dead. Okay, you get another another pet at 46. At 47, you get another life tap, a better life tap, upgrade. Get it, use it, love it. 48, Spear of Pain. That's Planes of Power. 49, Dismiss Undead. Get it, use it, love it. Only works on undead. 50, Shroud of Pain from Velius. You can get this. Decrease AC by, so it's a single target and it decreases AC. This will piss off the mob. If you want to slip this in, it's going to piss off the mob. Use it. You can also use it on Mez targets. And before you break Mez on a target, cast this line of spells, Shroud of Pain and the rest of them on it. It will add to your aggro level without breaking Mez. Taunt them a few times, cast Shroud of Pain, bash them in the face, break the Mez. Harm Shield increases HP when cast by 20 and gives you some invulnerability. Nice. Very nice, actually. 51. Siphon Life. Your life taps keep getting better. Resistant Discipline. So these are your disciplines. You will use this when you are fighting mobs that cast magic. You can do it in group. You will especially do it in raids. Summon Companion. That's useless. It was very necessary as a quality of life fix when it came in Velius, because pets used to have Force Pathing. Nowadays, they can't aggro anything unless you tell them to. They can't break Mez. The AI has been fixed. The spell remains. Abduction of Strength. You decrease their strength by 25. Oh, that's Lucklin. Lucklin, Yakisha. Original. Malignant Dead. New pet. Better pet. 52. Rest the Dead. Better lull. And it has a Memblur chance. It's kind of like Pacify. Only works on the undead. 53. Terror. That's Lucklin. Boil Blood. Another dot. Again, you're probably not going to use this in groups. You're more than welcome to. It's your mana. It's your playstyle. Do what works for you. Having said that, very mana inefficient. It's only going to get about 3 ticks, which is what? 40, decrease hit points by 40, and then another 2 ticks, all said and done, is 120 plus 7, 134 plus 40, 170 for 136 mana. It's not worth it. It's nice. Soloing. It's very nice on raid mobs. After all the rest of the pure casters get their dots on the raid boss, then if there's any room left, throw a few of yours on. Otherwise, get in there and swing. You are more warrior than you are necromancer. But the necromancer really helps you out. Banshee Aura, which you finally get. Self-damage shield. Uses a pearl, does not consume it. Get it, use it, love it. You might as well have it on there. It stacks with everything else. All the other damage shields out there. Call of Darkness. Not a great one, by the way. But it's something. It ain't bad. Original. Fearless Discipline. Again, you're going to use it to avoid mobs that fear, especially on raids. Also in groups if you're fighting anyone that fears. At 54, you get another fear up to level 52. Oh, EverQuest. You do so many stupid things. It's not one entity. It's a bunch of people working towards the same purpose poorly. Like any other organization. At 54, you can get another fear that goes up to level 52. Why? It lasts longer, and it works on the undead, which is nice. It costs less, which is nice. But it only works on blue mobs and lower, so it's like a slap in the face, really. Weren't you guys paying attention when you put this together? No, you weren't. 55, you get Shroud of Undeath as a proc, and it turns you into a skeleton. That is awesome. I gotta see what this does. This has the Shroud of Deathstrike proc. This has a Shroud of Deathstrike proc, but this one turns you into a skeleton, and this one does not. Interesting. What does the proc do? Decrease hit points by 45. It's better than nothing. I'll take it. Bobbing Corpse. Oh, this is pretty. This is very pretty. This is a self-only proc. No component. It's not a proc. This is a self-only buff, no component. It gives you water breathing, levitate, and increases your poison resist drastically. This is like Dead Men Floating for Necromancers, but it is self-only. You get the Unholy Aura Discipline with Velius, increase your spell damage. It's nice. It's a damage increaser. Use it on raid bosses. Use it whenever you want to, really. Yeah. Limit minimum mana cost. Yeah. So basically, it increases your life taps. Nice. Spirit Tap, an original. This is a new life tap. Get it, use it, love it. Expel the Undead. You like fighting undead. Get it, use it, love it. 56. We have one spell here, despite 4 being on display. Steel Skin increases damage absorbed. Get it, use it, love it. 57. Conjure Corpse works up to a level 70. You don't need this if you're leaving in July. You just don't. Unless... No? Lucklin doesn't increase... Does Lucklin increase level? Or does Planes of Power? I forget. I think it's Lucklin. Anyway, whenever you go up to 65, you will need this. If you're just playing Classic, you won't. Increase hit points, Vampiric Embrace, also in Kunar, or sorry, Vampiric Curse, single target, damage over time. Yeah. Return 100% of damage as hit points. Yeah, so this is a dot that steals life for. It's a lifesteal dot. It's a level 29 Necro lifesteal dot. It's nice. Probably it's more of, again, it's more of a solo thing than it is a group thing, because they're gonna die faster. It's not mana. 144 mana for 21 per tick. For that's not a lot of damage. That's not worth it. It's gonna take. You're gonna have to go out the length of the spell for it to be worth casting, and you're not gonna do that in a group. Drain Spirit, life tap, direct damage, life tap. 200, get it, use it, love it. You're going to love it. It's awesome. 58. Lucklin. Original Nullify Magic. Upgrade to Cancel Magic. We talked about that. You've got better things to do, though that is a great thing to do. And your next pet spell. Level 59. Let me scroll up so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Terror of Terrace. Oh, that's Lucklin. Original Diamond Skin. A new Absorb Shield. That's awesome. Cascading Darkness. Again, better for soloing. Doesn't do any more damage decrease, snare decrease than Dooming Darkness, but it does more damage. You're not going to use it in groups. You can, by all means, but you want to get 2 or 3 Clinging Darknesses back from level 11 on them, or 10, or whatever it was. Finally, 60. We follow through at 60. Death Peace. Feign Death, 98% success rate. Finally, you're almost caught up to the monk. Assistal. I don't know how to pronounce that word, from Kunark. This is a dot you will probably use. It is the upgrade to Heart Flutter. It reduces their strength and their AC. So it is a debuff. It is very nice for a debuff. I wouldn't use it on every mob, but if you're fighting higher level mobs in the group, you might consider using this. Cloak of Akiva is Shadow Knight only from Lucklin, so we're not worried about that. Drain Soul, we just upgraded your life tap again. Now you're at 250 damage per life tap. That's nice. Velius, Leech Curse Discipline. Life tap from weapon damage. This is very nice. Use this whenever you want to, especially on raid mobs. And then Augment Death. Now you can upgrade the pet you just got 2 levels back. That's it. You're 60. You're a Shadow Knight. Bows. You don't have to pull with spells. Pull with your bow and arrow. I've gone over on others how to make bows and arrows quick and cheap. I'm going to do it for you guys too, because I'm a nice guy. Trade skills. And you don't want to go through the other videos just to find out, oh, this is how we use bows. This is how we make bows. Sorry. Fletching. Come down here. This is going to be more concise than it was before. I've done this twice already. This is the cheapest way to fletch. Allow me to highlight the cheapest way to fletch. This will get your skill up to 202. I repeat, 202, which ironically you can just barely see as I've got this because of the way I have the camera and everything set up. Because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm better at explaining things than I am at the technical side. What you do is you go ahead and you buy the 1,000 of the field points, the wood shafts, shaft, can you dig it? The round fletch and the large knock. You make these until you trivialize out at 16. Then you go, you're sitting right by the Fletcher guy, by the way, here. Then you go ahead and you buy, it looks like you're going to need 2 or 3 times, you need to make 2 or 3 times the number of arrows to get the improvements. So it's 20 of these. You're going to need probably 40 to 60 medium knocks. So you buy 40 to 60 medium knocks, say 50. You set the thing to create all. You look up class 1 wood point arrows. You look for the one that trivials out at 36. You make them all. Boom. Now you've trivialized your basic arrow. The next thing, you go back to the basic pieces and you upgrade one thing at a time. So here was the knock. Here is the fletch. Here's the knock again, then it's the shaft. Can you dig it? Then it's the fletch, then it's the point, then it's the fletch, then it's the shaft. I can dig it, you can dig it, he can dig it, she can dig it. Then it's the fletch, then it's the point, then it's the fletch again. Boom, you're at 200. Yay! Cost you a bit of money. This is one of the cheapest trade skills to level up. It's not true. In Classic it was. Nowadays, with all the things that are in from Live, brewing and baking are ridiculously cheap to level up now. Anyway, not to do the special stuff, but just to get your trivial up. Get your trivial up to the point. Bows have a longer range than spells. Spells have a range of 50 to 100. Pretty sure it's 50. Bows have a range depending on the bow, and the arrow too. We'll go over that. Range on these bows. These are bows you can make through Classic. 50, 75, 100, 125, 150. 150 is the highest you can make in Classic for range. You are looking as a tank, not as a ranger. You're not looking to do a ton of damage with your bow. It's nice. It is an acceptable thing. It is a joyful thing to do more damage with your bow. That's not what you're looking for. You are looking to pull with your bow. That's all you want to do is pull. For that, you want range. You don't care about delay. You don't care about damage. You just want range. And frankly, you can get to a 125 bow with a 168 trivial, with oak and hemp, which is not that expensive. So to get to the 168 trivial, you need to get down here to the most expensive arrow to make, the silver tip. If you're willing to do that, you can get one of these oak hemp bows. You'll have 150 range relatively early on in the game. You don't have to worry about drops. When a better bow drops, pick it up. But that's actually pretty expensive. These cost 4 plat a piece to make. These cost 1.34, say, plat a piece to make on average. So we're looking for a bow that's under 162. You can try your luck with the hemp bow, the hemp silk, the hemp, whatever it was, oak hemp bow. Those are arrows. You can, and you probably will make it eventually. That's down here at 150. First 150 bow, yeah. No, that's darkwood and hemp. That's 215. So 125 is the oak hemp bow. 125 range, that's great. What if you only want 100 range? What if you're like 100 is good, that is still better than most spells? Ash and hemp trivials out at 129. Where does 129 go to for our leveling thing? 129 takes us to here, where arrows cost 1.2 plat. That's a lot cheaper. You can probably make it once you max out your class 4 wood point bow here in this line of the type 8 down here. Why is that doing everything when I highlight it? Boom, 122. 122 trivialized. You get it to that. You make the the 100 range bow, you have something to pull with. Didn't take you all day. It didn't break your wallet. Now you've got a bow that you can pull with. Bows are not common drops. Long ranged bows like this, you can get a 50 range bow off of a mob, no problem. You can get arrows off those mobs, no problem. The goblins in the cauldron, Dagnar's cauldron, drop them quite often, among many, many other mobs. But a 100 range bow, that's nice. That'll give you plenty of pulling range. And then the arrow adds to it too. So we look at these arrows, and there's a range on the arrow. So if we do it by range, some of these powerful arrows only have 5 range. Some only have 25. But the class 1 basic arrow has a range of 50. 50. This is additive. So if you have a 100 range bow plus a 50 range arrow, you have an effective range of 150. That beats out every spell in the game by a lot. Yay. And you did it pretty cheap. So even though I use even though I use arrows to level up the skill using this chart here on the P99 wiki, and I do, I usually only, if I have a decent bow or even a weak bow, I'll just take an hour and combine it up to the point where the first arrow is trivia, keep 1,000 of each one of these components with me, or even 100 of each one of these components, and once I've trivialized this, I've gotten my skill to like 20 or 30, my failure on the original arrow here is very low. It's got a range of 50. All I care about is the range. I have my weak bow. And there you go. Let's do a little search here. Zones. Outdoor zones, Dagnar's Cauldron. D. Hey, we're not in Antonica, we're on Fadewar. D, Dagnar's Cauldron, because I know they drop it. Items. This is NPCs. We want items. And it should just say bow. Bone totem. Blah, blah, blah. Cauldron prawn. It is not... it doesn't say any rusty weapons here either. Wonderful. Alright. Ooh, the reed belt drops here. That's a nice little belt. 5 wisdom. All. We want Aqua Goblins. Aqua Goblin Mariner. Known loot. Arrow. Hunting bow. Let's go to the hunting bow. It's taken me a bit to get there, but drops from a knoll in Blackburrow, Butcherblock Mountains, and it's got a range of 50. That's what we're looking for. That plus your arrow puts you at a range of 100. You're better than spells now. A knoll in Blackburrow, an Aqua Goblin or an Aqua Goblin Wizard in Butcherblock Mountains, Dagnar's Cauldron, Dwygus Lowwater, Inethul Swamp. It drops off of these names. It is not a Deepwater Goblin in Lake Wraithtier. Ocean of Tears and Aqua Goblin Sacrifice, Centaurs in South Karana, Deepwater Goblins in the Southern Desert of Ro. Those guys are like level 40. They are fun to fight. The Warrens drops them. I've seen them drop in the commons off of orcs. I don't know why they're not listed here for that. Let's try Alakazam and see what they say. Drops hunting bows. Hunting bow. Yeah, they have a little bit more extensive a list here. Dagnar's Cauldron. Look at all those guys in Dagnar's Cauldron. Butcherblock Mountain, all these different aquas, lizards, aqua goblins. Knoll Archer in Blackburrow. Boom, boom, boom. A Guard in High Pass Hold. Karanas Villager. Inethul Swamp, these guys. Lake Wraithtier, we covered some of these. South Karana, all these centaurs. South Row, the Deepwater Goblin. I guess it isn't much more than that. Anyway, still not a hard bow to get. Some of these mobs are like level 14. If you just want to make yourself a basic bow, well, let's go back to the database page here. A basic bow, let's go back to fletching. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. So these are basic arrows. We covered, Some of these guys have they increase your damage. They're just wonderful. Bows and arrows are really good. They're a lot of fun. Pull with them as a Shadow Knight. But if you just need a basic 50 range bow with hickory and hemp, trivials out at 16. Same time you trivial out that first arrow. So you've got a hickory and hemp 50 range bow. You have a wood point arrow. You're done. Enjoy Shadow Knights. Great class. I've spent way too much time on them. Y'all have fun. Keep on trucking, you blam blam truckers.